mark of May. Are you kidding me? Folks, this is the Sportsline Podcast on the CHCH media platform, and whether you are watching, listening, it's certainly great to have you with us. As our regulars know, sports in Southern Ontario is our focus, and we love to get in touch with the athletes, coaches, broadcasters, and executives that make us proud. Today, a very special individual from our community who deserves a whole lot of love and appreciation.
You want sledge hockey to be well known in the community, so he reaches out to different organizations to get people into the sport.
He's just passionate about it. Like he comes into the arena 10 o'clock at night after he works late, and he'll start putting sleds together, fixing sleds for kids.
He does whatever he can, anything that anybody needs.
Every year, he just finds more and more people. He brings more and more people into the sport, and it just continues to grow and flourish here in Hamilton.
Hockey's a fantastic sport for helping all kids and bringing communities together. But when you can help kids that might not have the same advantages in life, it's that much better.
I've nominated Allen because I think he deserves the recognition for the amount of work that he's put into growing the sport of sledge hockey in Hamilton.
When somebody thinks sledge hockey, I would love somebody to instantly put sledge hockey and the Hamilton Sledgehammers side by side. I would love to see more growth in the sport, and one day I would love to see that some of these kids could get some schooling through the sport of sledge hockey.
Folks, this volunteer with the Hamilton District Sledge Hockey Association is a finalist for the National Hockey League's Willie Community Hero Award, an honor bestowed to an individual who, through the sport of hockey, has positively impacted their community, culture, or society. So pleased and honored to have Allen Hierlihy on the Sportsline Podcast. Man, buddy, you are doing some great things.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us here.
No,
There's
thanks.
some important things to talk about.
Thanks for having me.
I'll tell you, obviously, the Willie Award, that being just nominated for that, I'm sure, North America wide, there are so many people doing so many positive things. This has to be real special for you.
It is. It's kind of humbling, I guess you could say, to have your name mentioned with Mr. Willie O'Ree.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got to kind of sit back and take it all in. So,
well, obviously you're a hockey guy, and I got to start right there.
Yep.
Where did hockey start with you? This was something when you were a kid that you fell in love with?
Yep. Basically, I learned how to crawl, walk, and then skate. My dad had me in hockey. He coached me right from the time I was 4 years old all the way up through my minor career when I was like 18 years old, and then I stopped playing like junior or whatever, and joined my old man and coaching side of things for 23 years, and I coached with my dad behind the bench, and then kind of was doing both the sledge and thing, and then kind of just made a choice, and it was time to retire from the stand-up side of hockey to sledge.
So I got to ask you that, because that's a big decision. I know there's a lot of a time commitment that goes towards coaching at any level, at any sport. Probably at that time of your life, there's probably not a lot of free time because there's a lot of fun stuff going on. But what made you say, look, I want to coach too?
It was just, I think I just kind of wanted to be with my dad, right? It was kind of like we played, he was always there, and then when I wasn't playing, it was like, well, hey, let's coach. So, and then the sledge hockey, I was trying to juggle both, but plus I play as well. So 6 nights a week at the arena was too much. I had to cut a couple nights loose. So,
and getting in touch with the children, I guess that would be, whoever you were coaching at that point, I guess that is something that you thought you could do well at that age?
I think so, yeah. Just it was easy for me to communicate with the U18s is what we coach. So being 18, 19, 20 years old, it was very easy to kind of get where they were coming from, right? So,
and did they respond to you? That would be the question.
I think so, yeah. So me and my dad had the tactic. He was like the dad, and I was the older brother. So it was kind of fun, yeah.
And probably pretty easy for you at that point because, as you said, you were fresh out of the sport. You're coaching stand-up now. Yeah. Were there any differences for you when you decided to say, I'm going to transition into sledge hockey?
A little bit. Sledge hockey is a game of like different angles and all that stuff. So it's not just, hey, there's somebody, go chase them down. It's you got to learn to cut them off. So and different rules and stuff that I just kind of took a little bit to take in, but. Yeah.
Did you just happened to see, like, I mean, obviously you're exposed to stand-up hockey. Where did the appreciation or where did the knowledge of that there's a different type of hockey being played?
I would say it was just more like just being out there, and then in your first game, you're like, "Whoa, this is totally different." Like,
right.
But and then it's still the same hockey aspect. It's just a little bit different rules. So it was just kind of like trial by error and just kind of learn. And I had some great people that I drilled with questions and got a lot of answers from. So
well, there's such it's such a seasonal sport, and it's something that really you can really I think about 6 months that you can see. We only really as a public see it visually throughout the Olympics. We don't really see a lot of world championships, but it does come every once or 4 years. Everyone perks up, and I know there's some names that have been in our area that have done very, very well. But where did it come from for you to become part of an organization or even find an association that it's playing all year round? Like, obviously this is something that's growing right now.
Yes, yeah, the sport is definitely on the rise, I think. Like, how did I get involved type of deal? With our son, he was about 6 years old, and we said, hey, come out to Shadoke Arena and let's try some sledge hockey. So not knowing much about it, we got him to the rink, threw him in a sled, and I got to get out there and push him, and it was like, holy smokes, like I get to go out and play hockey with my son. So it was like a huge high five, and then from there we fell in love with it, and here we are now, like 8 years later.
Well, and unfortunately, and this is life. Everyone's dealt different cards in life, and your son is diagnosed with meningitis, right? I don't know what kind of blow that was for you and your wife, but
it was tough because at first, I didn't really know much about it. It was meningitis. Like, okay. And then you realize, like, whoa, it's really bad. And then he went into like septic, and as a result of the surgery, he lost his left leg below the knee, his right foot, the tips off his right hand, and your whole life just kind of flips upside down. But you take the positives, the good with the bad, and like I said, here we are.
So you tried to get him to play stand-up hockey?
Yes, we did. I bought him skates and fit him with his prosthetics, and he walks with a walker, so we put skis on his walker to try and see if that would if that could help him out with the balance and everything. And we knew very quickly that the stand-up part wasn't going to happen. So,
and I would think, and I say this because I'm not married and I don't have kids. So I look at someone like you and with a certain amount of respect and honor, because it would be very easy to be disappointed when what you first planned didn't work out, but you found an option.
Oh, absolutely. Like, was there a little bit of a disappointment? There might have been, like, damn it, like, hockey's just not an option. And then, like I said, a couple of years went past, and then we found sledge hockey, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, hey, wait a minute. Like, there is an option for hockey. It's just maybe not standing up. It's kind of sitting down. So, and that's where.
How did your son respond to that?
He loved it. You could just see it. It was like the first time you're out there, like, he was only 6, but he was still part of a team. And, like I said, I got to go out there and push him in games and practices. So it was kind of fun. And then the next year I break out the pusher bar, and he just looks at me and shakes his head like, he wanted to do it on his own. So, and that was like, he's a little guy and he's on his own. And then, I started pushing other kids that needed some help and players that needed some help. And here we are.
How did that increase your love for what you were doing and what your son was doing?
Oh, there's words can't even almost describe it. Like, you couldn't wipe the smile off my face when I knew, like, okay, yeah, here we go. Like, it's we found hockey again. So, yeah.
And as you have learned, and I guess in some ways through coaching with your father and having that hockey relationship with your father, that has to be a bond for you with your son.
Oh, absolutely. It's if you're not in that situation, I don't think you understand it, and it's almost hard to describe. Like, it's just that you and your son have that thing, right? That one thing that nobody will take away from you. So,
when in sport, we've learned so many lessons, and I think you learn to win, you learn to lose. And you said a word I thought was real interesting that I want to focus on as well too, and that's team. And no matter if you win or lose, because that's something to deal with.
Yep.
Getting your son, especially in the situation that he's gone through and going through, learning the aspect of team and sport is so important.
It's insanely important. It does teach you that losing is okay. Winning is awesome, don't get me wrong, but there's a way to lose properly, and that's what we try and instill in my son plus the other players, that it's okay to lose as long as you're out there just trying, giving it all. And that's where the whole team comes in, because you look to your team to kind of build you up when you go down a little bit, right?
Right. Yeah. Tell me about the association as it stands right now.
Our association, I feel right now is we are in probably one of the best spots we've ever been in. Our executive is a group of just wonderful, amazing parents of players in our association, and everybody is doing what they need to do to get our association to the next level. We're out there doing Try It Sledge days throughout the winter. Once a month, we'd have just open it up to come on out and try it, and we've had, I think, 4 or 5 come in and sign up, and more that are starting to show more interest. So I think as long as we keep doing what we're doing, we're off in good standing. So
and there's different age groups now too, isn't there?
Yes, there is. So
that's awesome.
We just changed it from 5 to 15 is our junior developmental, and then we have an open recreation, which is any age, non-contact, and then we have our team, so our intermediate C team, which is full contact, and they're about 15 and up is the age. So you don't want them to jump into it that if they're not quite ready for it, because the hitting is pretty heavy.
I mean, how competitive is this?
It's very competitive. Like, it's, if you've been around it, it's these kids, they want to hit everything that moves, like, and it's awesome to me, like, right, like.
And I'm sure a lot of those kids, they turn on the TV, they have stars.
Oh yeah,
right. I mean, they must associate with different people, different moves. Do you see that?
Oh yeah. Like right now, we got some young kids that they want to do they score a goal, they're doing the victory celebrations, the selfie sticks, the broken hearts, and it just kills me, right? Like it's super fun, and like I said, just. For my personal thing is when we're at the rink and getting on the ice with these kids, they just get to be hockey players. It's almost like when they sit in the sled, it's no matter what your disability is, what you got going on, just don't worry about it. Let's just get out on the ice.
Interesting. You talked about the executive of the Hamilton group here that are growing the sport. Fair to say, or I can ask, that there's other parents that are in the situation you are in as well?
Oh, absolutely. We've got, like I said, there's all different kinds of disabilities, and all the parents have their issue that they're dealing with, but like we can all just come together for the love of hockey, right? And to promote and bring our kids to the best that they can be with our association, and
the parents as well too.
Oh, and the parents, they love it too, right? Like, it's the little family that we have in Hamilton. That's really kind of awesome to me, and we kind of instill that word family because we are, right? Like.
Now, we talked about the fact that, we want these kids to grow up and watch TV and look at the stars. What about another level? Is there another level they can go to? I know there's the Olympics.
Yep.
And that's got to be interesting for them to say, hey, maybe I want to be representing Canada.
Yeah, so the kids can, the Sledge Team Ontario has a great program, and the kids can get out there, and they have like open tryouts and stuff, so it's kind of nice to see that aspect. And then they can kind of work their way into the national program and maybe get themselves on an Olympic roster one day.
Do you guys have as association, are you linked in with Hockey Canada? Is there some kind of linkage that needs to happen now?
It would be nice to see if we could get more out of Hockey Canada with a push to sledge hockey. Kind of side note, like sledge hockey in the States is insanely, like, way more involved than we are up here, but it is growing. It is coming out there, and if we could just get more players to come out, and you know what I mean.
How many people? How many competitors do you think there would be nationwide? Any kind of guess? Or
if I had to guess, like I do believe there's 400 or so athletes in Ontario.
Okay, fair.
And I assume all the provinces will have
for sure.
So there's got to be a few thousand would be across Canada.
I can envision a Canadian championship. I mean, I can't see why that can't happen.
Yep.
Right? I mean, at some point.
Well, actually, this weekend, starting tomorrow in Port Colborne, is the national championships in Port Colborne for sledge hockey.
There you go.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday is the semis, and Sunday is the finals, I do believe. So,
would there be representation from Hamilton?
I don't know if there's any representation from Hamilton, but pretty close. So we
gotta get them in there for crying out loud. We need a national championship.
Yeah, there's the Ontario team, New Brunswick, Alberta, BC, I do believe. I'm not 100% sure of all the teams that are there, but it is phenomenal hockey.
And now back to you, and obviously your son I think shares in this as well. The National Hockey League, how'd they come calling?
My wife nominated me for this award, and then through some emails and a little Zoom call meeting, we were kind of telling our story and kind of talking back and forth, and that's when they kind of just said, "Hey, you're a finalist," and I had to kind of walk away from the computer for a minute and give a big woo, because I thought it was kind of the coolest thing ever. At first, hey, did that just really happen?
And the man that's affixed to the award, like Willie O'Ree, obviously for people that don't know, I mean, guy that broke the calorie barrier in the National Hockey League in the late 50s, and is going out there and doing so much work for the league in terms of representation, color, people with disabilities or challenges, everything. And that hockey is a sport that can join people.
Oh, absolutely.
And to be a part part, or at least nominated for that.
Hockey should be a sport that joins everybody, you know what I mean? And also Willie had vision impairment as well. So it was kind of I was honored, you could say, just to be involved in all this.
Well, okay, and for truth be told, there are 2 other finalists, so there's 3 in total.
Yep.
So the big award ceremony, when the National Hockey League hand out their awards, you're going to be there.
Well, they are sending my son and I down to Las Vegas.
Wow!
I know, it's crazy, for the NHL awards and the first round of the draft. So it's kind of exciting, and he's never got to get on a plane before, so this is going to be even top notch.
Exactly, the everything involved with it, getting there, an opportunity to see some of his heroes from close range.
Yeah, he's
maybe some of your heroes.
Yeah, some of mine, some of his. I know he's got a list of people he wants to see, so hopefully we can make that happen. But yeah, it's really cool. It's awesome. So
now it's a voting process that goes on. How do people get involved? I know there's going to be a whack of people that are going to want to vote for you.
So if you go on the NHL.com/Willie O'Ree Community Hero, it'll pop right up to the link with the video, and you can go in and vote. I think everybody's allowed to vote once a day until the 19th.
Come on, Hamilton.
Yes, come on, Hamilton. And and then they said something around game 2 or something of the Stanley Cup final. They will announce the winner, and then kind of goes from there. So,
and we would be wrong also not to talk about the association and how people can help. I know you need volunteers.
Yes, we're always looking for volunteers. Sponsorship is huge for us. My wife does a lot of fundraising for us. Your basic sled, for example, is around $800 for a basic sled.
Wow.
So usually sled and stick combo, you could be around $1,000. So, and we as an association, we do have a surplus of sleds. So when somebody comes out for the first time, we can get them in the sleds, get them their sticks, and get them on the way. But some of the equipment over the years, it gets a little beat up, a little worn out. So we do need to regenerate our stock every once in a while, and the equipment is constantly changing too.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, and I'm remiss to actually bring this up as well too. ladies involved too?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go.
We've got, anybody can play. We even have a few able bodies, as we call them, like siblings and stuff that just come out and play. And the sport's for everybody. Like, it really, truly is. And that's what I kind of love about this one.
Have you put yourself in the sled?
I have.
What's it like?
It is not as easy as it looks. And when you're out there and you've got this 7-year-old that just goes screaming past you, I got a lot of appreciation for that. That's for sure.
How you like that, coach?
Yeah. See you later. And the hitting, it's just like little bumper cars, and it's fun. I got a lot of respect for these individuals and these athletes. And
well, Allen, I'll tell you, this is something special. We did put up, we will again put up the registration board there, and a board there for the address and where people can vote for you. And I just think this is so cool. Credit to your wife again, as you did.
Yes,
because the awareness would not be there.
No.
And it could just go from something local to national to international. The work you're doing is yeoman. It's fantastic. I know you don't do it for the press or to be here or for the National Hockey League or whatever, but what you've done for your son, your family, to represent like that shows us once again how strong and how amazing Hamilton, the community is.
Hamilton is one of the best. You can't even describe it, but if we could just pull behind us and rally us up, that's fantastic. And then just to have our name be known and be seen on TV and stuff that's the winner right there. So just so people know where we are.
Congratulations, you've won already, in my opinion there, sir.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, folks. That's your Sportsline Podcast fix for the day. And as you've just seen and heard, we love talking to people that love sports. In fact, they're infatuated with it. If you do know of an athlete, team, or event to promote the Sportsline Podcast, want to hear from you. Please hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe button. And if you do have something to say, be sure to comment. For the dedicated crew that make the Sportsline Podcast possible, thank you so very much. And we'll see you tomorrow.